Hello. Thank you for stopping to listen to these words about depression, the overweight person, and lymphedema. But first let me say that I'm not a doctor, a nurse, or a psychiatrist. I'm merely an extremely overweight person who has not been able to keep the weight off over the years. And from that point of view, I am more than qualified to speak on the subject. First, let's discuss depression, and then lymphedema, and finally we'll deal with my story. The following account is information that I've gathered over the years. I know that depression is our worst enemy, not food. We need food to live, not just as much. However, depression is a mean and sneaky condition. It comes at you when you least expect it and are not prepared to fight it. It starts with the depression blues. For instance, have you ever seen a celebrity on television talking about her recent weight loss? She showed off her beautiful figure dressed in designer clothes. Were you jealous because you couldn't lose weight like that? Have you prayed for a miracle diet that would help you shed the pounds? And when you tried a new diet plan and it failed, did you feel more despondent? That's when depression sneaks in. It begins in the form of low self-esteem, and you think, oh, what's the use? Why do I even bother? I know that I'll never be that thin. At that time, many will give in to the blues and retreat into the bedroom, close the grates, hop into the bed, and cry. But don't do that. Instead, ask yourself, did I fail because I couldn't stop eating? When the weight didn't melt off, did I go into a deep depression and stuff myself with food? Granted, some people use food as their comfort zone, but in your case, if you didn't do any of the above things, could the weight gain have been from a medical condition? Something that you could have addressed had you known about it? Well, sisters and brothers, take heart. You see, there is a medical reason why we can't lose the weight. It is a condition called lymphedema, which is excess fluid trapped inside our bodies and is controlled by the lymph nodes. But first, to truly understand lymphedema, let's separate the words and get the definition. Lymph. Lymph is fluid containing white cells and sometimes viruses, bacteria, and cancer cells. It is drained from tissue space inside our bodies by the lymph nodes. Lymph drained from the intestine can have fat in it. Node is a lymph, actually a lump of tissue that works like a gland. It removes lymph fluid from the body's tissue. Edema. This is an abnormal buildup of excess fluid between tissue cells. Lymphedema is an excessive buildup of lymph fluid between the body's tissue cells. Hello, my name is Maggie, and I'm a novelist, and I have lymphedema. I'm one of those people who can't lose weight by simply dieting. I have approximately 200 pounds of lymph fluid in my cells, which I can't remove because my lymph nodes are damaged. Now I know that the lymph fluid, enough to fill a 2-liter bottle, is drained from the body by the lymph nodes each day. If I'm dieting and I lose 5 pounds of fat, the excess water in my body is going to fill up that space. Well, since then, I know that each day this lymph fluid has to be eliminated, or it will trickle down into the nearest cavity in the body, and that's in the back, the stomach, the arms, the thighs, the legs, or any place where there is space. The fluid will crowd in there. And this happens because the lymph nodes can't do their job. So now the kidneys working with water pills have to take over. And in quite a few instances, the job is simply too big for them. Therefore, the water stays in the body cells, and each day more water accumulates, adding to the fluid that's already there. Years ago, I was sent to a heart specialist for the water retention problem. He told me that it wasn't my heart that caused the fluid retention, but my blood pressure medicine. At that time, I hadn't a clue as to what he was talking about. Now, years later, I know that medicine had damaged my lymph nodes, and that they were the ones causing the water to build up. And eventually, that extra water weight will literally paralyze a person, preventing any movement. That's what happened to me. The extra water on my thighs feels like someone put each foot on two separate tubs of cement and then told me to walk. I couldn't do it. Some would say, why didn't you go to the doctor? I did. In fact, we were overseas when I first talked to a military doctor about the swelling, and he told me not to go on a diet. He said, first, find out what your body needs, take care of that, and then go on a diet. He couldn't do it because he was leaving the following week, and the other military doctors had their hands full with active duty personnel, so I couldn't get the test. I believe that if he had tested me, he would have found the damaged lymph nodes, and I wouldn't be in the condition that I'm in today. Since then, I've discovered quite a bit. For instance, I was told that a hospital will not admit me for a lymph condition, but if I had something else wrong with me, like kidney stones and lymphedema, then they would admit me for the kidney stones. Afterward, they would treat me with water pills for the swelling, but they wouldn't treat the lymphedema like the special lymphedema clinics will. Yes, this condition affects so many people that there are special clinics that treat nothing but people with these conditions. In fact, there is a huge lymphedema clinic in Olympia, Washington. Their physical therapists massage the lymph nodes, unplugging them, and then they wrap the body and literally squeeze the water from the tissue cells. And then the water pills take it from the body. But only the rich can afford it. The treatments are expensive, and most insurance companies won't pay for them. The price quoted to me was $500 a day. This was for 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon at $125 an hour. This nurse told me that one man went to the clinic with his thigh as big as a tree trunk. When he left, his thigh was long. On happy day, there is help at the end of the road, but since I can't afford it, it becomes just another vehicle leading to the depression bill for me. But no, I won't let it destroy my peace of mind, to box me into that self-destructive mood. I just turn to my writing to try and get the help that I need. You know, sell some books, and if that don't work, well, let's look on the sunny side. I can always rob a bank. That's an interesting thought. How can I do that when I can't rob? Seriously, folks, that one was kidding. If you see an overweight person walking and hears a husk stomach sways from side to side and shakes like a bowl of half-set jello, that's lymphedema, fluid and fatty tissue. And if there are bags of flesh hanging from underneath the upper arms, looking like balloons of water, that's lymphedema. And if her or his size are as big as tree trunks, that's lymphedema. When you feel yourself doubting if you have lymphedema, remember that body fat is solid, like the fat on an uncooked pot roast or rib steak, not liquid oil. And please, if you're one of us, don't get depressed. That will just aggravate your condition, especially your blood pressure. Get mad, fight back, and your doctor is your main ally. I have a wonderful doctor. I hope you do too. After we have finished our lymphedema treatment and the condition is under control, then we can go on a regular diet and lose fat and not have to worry about water replacing the lost fat. Just remember, you are unique, one of a kind, and it doesn't matter if you're heavy, thin, or slim. You are still one of a kind, and all three of you are the same. Yesterday is your history. Today is the first day of your life, and tomorrow is the beginning of a new day. Live them well, and don't let depression hitch a ride on your fast food craving. So think happy, think about the book, and banish the depression, and then we can all write a book. P.S. I would appreciate any comments, and please read my free short story on my website, www.maggieleen.com. It's about a battered woman and her revenge. Email me at MAGE_LENE@yahoo.com. Bye for now, and again, thanks for listening. Bye.